Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Day 99. The Prophet ﷺ stoned at Taif. The Prophet ﷺ was going through difficult times. He couldn't even go into the street. Whenever he did, he was met with insults. He was stoned and persecuted. When he recited the Quran, the pagans whistled and clapped their hands and tried to prevent him by raising their voices. While he was speaking, they did the same, and it offended him. During those days, spreading his religion was very difficult. He decided to visit the city of Taif to call the inhabitants of that city to join Islam. Taif was a beautiful settlement. It was very green. The environment of the city was full of vines. There were many vineyards. The Prophet ﷺ had thought that the citizens of Taif would accept and believe in Islam and in his prophethood. If he obtained their support and help, the pagans of Makkah would not dare to do harm to him. The religion of Islam would spread and be strengthened. He left along with his adopted son, Zaid. Once they arrived in Taif, the Prophet ﷺ began making contacts with the leaders. He explained to them the wonders of Allah and his being the Prophet of Allah, the Almighty. He explained to them the falsehood of worshipping idols and told them that the real Creator was Allah, the Most High. He asked them to enter the fold of Islam, to accept his invitation, but he got a reaction he never expected. The citizens of Taif proved to be worse than the Makkans. They shouted at him and insulted him. In the face of all the suffering and difficulty, he wanted to leave that place immediately. But he held out for a while and explained to each citizen the commandments of Allah. But they took it a stage further and said, "Leave our city and go wherever you want to go. We will try to stay away from you as much as possible." They glowered at him. They didn't know the person standing before them. They didn't want to believe he was a prophet. They caused him discomfort by curses and insults. In the end, they lined up on both sides of the street and stoned him. That moment was an awful one. The Prophet of Allah, the Almighty, was under a shower of stones. The stones poured down on him like hail. His feet were bleeding. It was hard for him to walk. Now he hurried to leave the city as soon as possible. They watched him, laughing. Zaid was walking around him like a sincere bodyguard. He was trying to shield the best of mankind. He was also bleeding from every part of his body. Both the Prophet ﷺ and Zaid rushed into a vineyard trying to escape this fearsome attack. The Prophet ﷺ knelt down under a tree completely exhausted. He opened his hands and said a prayer. "Please, Lord, I can endure any difficulty as long as I don't earn your anger. My dear Lord, until you are pleased with me I seek your forgiveness. The Prophet ﷺ, even in that moment of pain, was asking Allah to forgive him and be pleased with him. The great Creator, the highest of the high, would not, of course, leave his Prophet in this state of disarray. Of course, the reward he was going to provide for his sacrifice and goodness was going to be great.